The sign of a heat flow change is important. So far, we haven't had many measurements with negative values. Temperatures in the Fahrenheit and Celsius scales can be negative, but masses, volumes, and lengths are always positive values. We will have to consider negative values when we discuss heat flow. The sign of the heat flow indicates directionality. Since we are dealing with chemical reactions, the directionality of the heat flow refers to whether the reactants gain or release heat. When reactants absorb or gain heat, which occurs during an endothermic reaction, the sign of the heat flow is positive. If the reactants release heat as they transform to products which occur in an exothermic reaction, the sign of the heat flow is negative. We sometimes refer to reactants as losing energy. The energy isn't lost, it goes to the surroundings, but that's the term that is used. Chemists tend to use units of joules or kilojoules to express heat flow. An important characteristic of heat flow is that the amount of heat for an opposite reaction is the same, but the sign is different because the directionality of the heat flow is different. Let's consider the boiling and condensation of water. These are opposite reactions. When water boils, it goes from the liquid state to the gas state and requires heat. When water condenses, it goes from the gas state to the liquid state and releases heat. The amount of heat required or released is the same for the same mass of water, but the directionality of the heat flow is different. 1 mole of liquid water requires 44.1 kilojoules of heat to transform completely to water vapor, while 1 mole of water vapor releases 44.1 kilojoules of heat when it condenses. Since boiling requires heat, the heat flow is expressed with a positive value. Since condensation releases heat, the heat flow is expressed with a negative value. These signs are a very important part of expressing the heat flow.